Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Public Service Commission of South Carolina. We're here for our weekly business meeting. Today is November the 3rd, 2021. It is 11 a.m. Please join me in a brief moment of silence. All right, thank you. Present in the hearing room, we have Commissioner Thomas, Commissioner Belzer, Commissioner Powers, Commissioner Carol Lee Williams, and Commissioner Justin Williams. Joining us virtually, we have Commissioners Irvin and Caston. Attorney Butler, if you would, please read the agenda, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Other members of the commission, good morning to you. The first order of business would be to set the next commission meeting. Staff would recommend that that meeting be scheduled for Wednesday, November 10th at 11 a.m.
The next business meeting will be scheduled for Wednesday, November the 10th at 11 a.m.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Moving into our...
Vice Chair Belzer.
Aren't we starting a hearing on Wednesday the 10th?
Yep, at 10. Yes, Madam Vice Chair, I do believe the Palmetto wastewater reclamation case will begin at 10.
Mr. Chairman, could we make the next meeting at the call of the chair?
I take no issue with that.
Okay.
I take no issue with that.
I'm just concerned. I know we've got a rate case scheduled next week with public hearings scheduled, and then the portion where the utility presents their case and other parties present their cases begins on Wednesday. I think we need to make sure we're clear of that.
All right. So the next business meeting will be at the call of the chair.
Thank you. With that, then, we can proceed into the utilities agenda. Item number 1 is an interconnection agreement between AT&T South Carolina and Granite Telecommunications, LLC.
Is there a motion?
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Powers.
I would move that the commission grant the request for approval of the fourth interconnection agreement between Bell South Telecommunications, LLC, doing business as AT&T South Carolina, and Granite Telecommunications, LLC. So moved.
Hearing Commissioner Powers' motion, is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll vote, starting with District 1. Commissioner Williams.
Aye.
Vice Chair Belzer.
I vote aye.
Commissioner Caston.
Aye.
Commissioner Irvin.
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas. Aye. Commissioner Powers.
Aye.
Chairman Williams votes aye. The ayes have it. The motion carries.
Item number 2 is docket number 2021-236G. Before the commission today is a motion for admission pro hoc vici of Melinda L. McGrath, Esquire, filed on behalf of Piedmont Natural Gas Company, Incorporated.
Is there a motion?
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Irvin.
I move the commission grant the motion for admission pro hoc vici of Melinda L. McGrath, Esquire, filed on behalf of Piedmont Natural Gas Company, Incorporated. So moved.
Hearing Commissioner Irvin's motion, is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll vote, starting with District 1, Commissioner Williams.
I vote aye.
Vice Chair Belzer.
I vote aye.
Commissioner Caston.
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas. Aye. Commissioner Powers.
Aye.
Chairman Williams votes aye. Did I skip Commissioner Thomas?
You can skip me, I believe. Commissioner Irvin votes aye.
Okay. Sorry about that. All right. Ayes have it. Motion carries.
Item number 3 is docket number 2010-118G. We have Amendment 1 to an agreement for transportation service with Firm Gas Standby, and Amendment 1 to a service agreement between Dominion Energy South Carolina, LLC, and Wildchem US, Incorporated.
Is there a motion?
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Thomas.
thank you. I move that the commission grant the request for approval of Amendment 1 to the Agreement for Transportation Service with Firm Gas Standby, and Amendment 1 to the service agreement between Dominion Energy South Carolina, LLC, and Wellchem US, Incorporated. Approval of the amendments is in the public interest, and the amendments were filed and served within the 7-day time limit after execution required by Commission Regulation 103-403D.
Hearing Commissioner Thomas's motion, is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll vote starting with District 1. Commissioner Williams,
Aye.
Vice Chair Belzer,
I vote aye.
Commissioner Caston,
Aye.
Commissioner Irvin,
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas,
Aye.
Commissioner Powers,
I vote aye.
Chairman Williams votes aye. The ayes have it. The motion carries.
Mr. Chairman, other members of the commission, the staff would recommend that you take item numbers 4 and 5 together. We have 2 petitions to intervene out of time filed on behalf of Bright Night LLC. The first docket in which such a petition is filed is docket number 2021-192E. This is the Dominion Coal Retirement docket. It's docket number 2021-192E. Number 5 is docket number 2021-93E, the Dominion Light Facility case. And Bright Night LLC has also filed a petition to intervene out of time in that docket.
Is there a motion?
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Irvin.
I move that the petitions to intervene in these 2 dockets be granted for agenda items 4 and 5 as outlined by Mr. Butler. Bright Night LLC meets the requirements for petition to intervene described in Commission Regulation 103-825A3 and states good cause as to why it should be allowed late intervention in these 2 dockets. No objections to the petitions to intervene have been filed, and allowing the late intervention would not prejudice any parties in these dockets. Therefore, I move that we grant the petitions to intervene.
Hearing Commissioner Irvin's motion, is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll vote starting with District 1. Commissioner Williams,
I vote aye.
Vice Chair Belzer,
I vote aye.
Commissioner Caston,
Aye.
Commissioner Irvin,
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas,
Aye.
Commissioner Powers,
Aye.
Chairman Williams votes aye. The ayes have it. The motion carries.
Mr. Chairman, other commissioners, staff recommends that items 6 and 7 be considered together. Both of these are under docket number 2021-93E. Item 6 is a request for an allowable ex parte briefing. Item 7 is a joint motion to modify the procedural schedule. Yesterday afternoon, the commission received a letter from Belton Ziegler, Esquire, representing Dominion Energy South Carolina Incorporated, who wrote on behalf of all parties. He stated that the parties were engaged in discussions concerning a possible consensus agreement to limit the issues in dispute in this matter and to provide for a reasonable procedural schedule. He also indicated that discussions at this time were at a critical juncture, so that the parties were asking the commission to carry over items 6 and 7 for 1 week to continue those discussions and to extend the remaining pre-filing schedule for interveners direct, rebuttal, and surrebuttal by 1 week as well. So before the commission today is the request to carry items 6 and 7 over for 1 week and also for a 1 week extension for each of the remaining pre-filing deadlines.
Is there a motion?
Chairman Williams, I'd
Commissioner-
like to make a motion.
Commissioner Caston, you have the floor.
Thank you, sir. As stated by Mr. Butler, yesterday afternoon, representatives of all parties in this matter filed a request asking the commission to carry over utilities agenda items number 6 and 7 for 1 week. I move that the commission grant the parties' request for an additional week to continue their discussions and also hold pre-file testimony and exhibit deadlines and due dates in advance until further order by the commission. I so move.
Hearing Commissioner Caston's motion, is there any discussion?
Mr. Chairman,
Vice Chair Belzer.
I would ask if Commissioner Caston would consider a friendly amendment to instead of saying that the items be carried over for 1 week, that we state that they be carried over until our next business meeting. And I think that would be in 2 places in the motion. And the reason I'm making that suggestion is, as I earlier stated, we have a rate case scheduled to begin on Wednesday. And Thursday is a state holiday, so the rate case is scheduled for Wednesday and Friday. Hopefully we can finish it in 2 days. If not, we have some time the next week. We have some public hearings scheduled for Monday and Tuesday, and it may be that we have to have our business meeting on Tuesday instead of Wednesday. I don't know yet, but I'm just concerned if we say 1 week, we're tied to Wednesday, and we may have to have the meeting on Tuesday.
I agree, Vice Chair Belcher, and I have no problem with that amendment. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Thomas.
I agree with Vice Chair's recommendation, but I would just add another suggestion, and let's put the time frame out there at 1 week, the later of 1 week, or the next business meeting.
Commissioner Caston?
Could you repeat that, Commissioner?
I would suggest that we say the later of 1 week or the next business meeting instead of potentially pushing it to Tuesday, which is less than a week. So I'm just trying to give them at least a week and potentially more if the business meeting schedule gets changed around.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, Vice Chair Belcher, but I believe the concern is when we would have the next business meeting, which is when this would come up again. Is that correct?
Commissioner Caston, that was my concern, is if we said 1 week and our meeting ends up being on, I don't know, Monday or Tuesday, then we wouldn't be able to take it back up next week. If we just said at our next business meeting, we could take it back up next week. As I understand, Commissioner Thomas's amendment, if we meet on Tuesday, then we wouldn't take it up Tuesday. It would be the following week before it may come up. And if that's the consensus of the commission, then that's fine. I just didn't want to tie us to 1 week when the meeting may be earlier.
I understand.
Mr. Chairman?
Commissioner Thomas.
I'm not disagreeing with the vice chair. I'm just trying to give them at least a week, and if it turns out to be a little bit more, then I'm okay with that. So they've asked for a week. I'm trying to just make sure they get at least a week.
And Commissioner Thomas, I didn't take that as disagreement. I mean, it's good discussion.
Well, I think they asked for a week. Let's give them a week. It is really not that hard to do. Commissioner Caston, are you just open to stating that you will, that your motion is to grant the party's request to give them a week to discuss their case and then come back to the commission? No earlier than a week?
At this point, that might be the cleanest thing to do. I understand what Commissioner Thomas is asking, and I think it's excellent point. And Vice Chair Belcher's point was also excellent. But at this point, I think just for simplicity, it might be best just to give them what they asked for and then to come back with what they have. And then we'll go from there.
All right.
So I'm okay with keeping the motion as is for now.
All right.
Mr. Chairman, I'll withdraw my amendment.
All right. All right.
And I will withdraw mine as well.
All right. If there's no further discussion, we will move forward with the vote. Starting with District 1, Commissioner Williams.
Aye.
Vice Chair Belzer.
Aye.
Commissioner Caston.
Aye.
Commissioner Urban.
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas.
Aye.
Commissioner Powers.
Aye.
Chairman Williams votes aye. The ayes have it. The motion carries.
Mr. Chairman, other commissioners, the next item is item number 8. It's docket number 2021-291A. which is a generic docket to study and review pre-file rebuttal and surrebuttal testimony in hearings and related matters. At this time, staff presents for commission an opportunity to consider a discussion of such docket.
Is there a motion?
Chairman Williams, I would like to make a motion.
Commissioner Caston, you have the floor, sir.
During my time as a commissioner, pardon me, Chair Williams, I want to make sure I'm on the right one. And we're on item 8, correct?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Well, pardon me, I'm sorry. During my time as a commissioner, I've noticed that often the substance of direct testimony and exhibits may not be as robust in evidentiary support and explanation of an applicant's petition or application, and that the rebuttal testimony may contain more substance and evidentiary support than the direct testimony. Mr. Chairman, I would move that the commission ask all interested stakeholders and persons to provide comment and thoughts on procedure, substance requirements, and timelines for pre-filed testimony and exhibits, including the need for pre-filed written rebuttal and or surrebuttal testimony versus reserving rebuttal and or surrebuttal testimony to be provided live during the hearing. I further move that the clerk set a deadline for any and all comments to be submitted no later than 2 weeks from the date of this directive order. I so move.
All right. Hearing Commissioner Caston's motion, is there any discussion?
Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Powers.
Mr. Chairman, often with pre-filed testimony, I felt like, we've had a chance to review it, we're familiar with it, that there just didn't seem to be a reason for the parties to testify twice. Keeping these parties tied up that period of time has certainly cost the ratepayers in some form. And I think this commission's capable of being able to, I guess the word would be, comprehend the sequence of what they're trying to put forward. I know everybody, having been in the law business for so long, everybody wants the last word. And I don't think that that's always necessary, nor do I think it's sufficient. I certainly understand that the parties don't agree with each other with their testimony and their surrebuttal, but I believe that should be more in the discretion of the chairman, and of course, leaving the situation where ORS has been the procedure gets the last word. But I think this is a good idea to review, and I very much support Commissioner Caston's motion. Thank you.
All righty.
Mr. Chairman.
Vice Chair Belzer.
Commissioner Caston, would you entertain a question?
Yes, ma'am.
As I understand your motion, you are asking for comment on whether to continue with pre-filed rebuttal and surrebuttal, or not have pre-filed rebuttal and surrebuttal, and just have those questions come out on and testimony come out on cross-examination. Am I missing something?
No, ma'am. That was my intent or thought. Does that answer the question, or you feel like the motion
Yes, sir.
that?
Yes, sir. I just want to make sure I was clear when you were talking about providing comment and thoughts on procedures, requirements, and filing of pre-filed testimony and exhibits, and including the need, I think, for filing of rebuttal and surrebuttal. And I just wanted to make sure that I was clear on the motion. Thank you very much.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Urban, you have the floor, sir.
Thank you. Commissioner Caston, Commissioner Powers, I appreciate your concern and your idea to solicit input from all stakeholders about our process and procedures. And certainly there's nothing wrong with getting, in fact, it's a great idea to get comments from our stakeholders and their attorneys before we take any action. But it's also my understanding that any substantive changes would require a proposed new regulation, which would have to be approved by the General Assembly. Is that your understanding?
Well, I honestly cannot say that is totally my understanding, but that it would be part of the process of what we're doing now, especially reviewing our regulations. There have been some discussion that relative to Sarah Bubble and other things, it could be at the direction or discretion of the chair. But I would anticipate that this would involve a modification to our regulations. Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, may I address that?
Yes, sir. Commissioner Powers, you have the floor, sir.
Commissioner Irvin, it's my understanding that before my time or our time, that in the past that this testimony was combined, and that the procedure we're under now has just evolved over time. I think we have a lot of discretion in what we allow or how we allow it. I don't know that we would necessarily have to change the regulations, but based upon what we hear, who knows what we should do. I think we need to see what we hear, but it's a good idea to hear it. Thank you.
I agree with you, Commissioner Powers, and that's why I say it's a great start to a review process to get input from all stakeholders in the bar, the attorneys that regularly appear before the commission, and certainly in a given hearing, I think the parties and their attorneys could consent and agree to modify the process as long as there's no objection. But if there was an objection, I think that the better long-term solution might be to submit a regulation so that we have a regulation in place that governs our process. I believe that it's a matter that our legal counsel and our legal staff may need to brief, and that should be a part of the process as well. I'm not suggesting that this is a bad idea. I think it's a great idea because there is a lot of time that can be saved if we could shorten the process. I just want to go about it in the right fashion. That's my only thought about the matter, but I appreciate your effort, and I'm going to vote to support your motion. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner.
All righty. Is there anything else from the commissioners? All right. Hearing nothing, we will vote starting with Commissioner Williams.
Aye.
Vice Chair Belzer?
I vote aye.
Commissioner Caston?
Aye.
Commissioner Irvin?
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas?
Aye.
Commissioner Powers?
I vote aye.
Chairman Williams votes aye. The ayes have it. The motion carries.
Item number 9 is item ND 2021-6-A. As you will recall, we had an updated presentation before the commission by Christopher Kuhn on the South Carolina Emergency Rental Assistance Program. And at this time, staff presents for commission consideration suggestions for further outreach presented by Commissioner Caston for information.
Is there a motion?
Well, Chairman Williams, I think this is for information only, but I would like to share that information if I may.
Understood, sir. So there is no motion. Please share the information that you have for us to receive.
Thank you, and thank you, Mr. Butler. Mr. Chairman, following the update and presentation by Christopher R. Kuhn, Esquire, on customer outreach efforts of the South Carolina Emergency Rental Assistance Program and the South Carolina State Plus Program, which was held during a special commission business meeting on Monday, October 25th, 2021. I thought of some additional information related to my questions to offer Mr. Kuhn concerning water and sewer utility resources. And I would like to suggest the following names and contact information be provided to Mr. Kuhn by the clerk's office. David Bays, who is the executive director for the South Carolina American Water Works Association, SCAWWA, and the Water Environment Association, South Carolina, WEASC, at 121 Executive Center Drive, Suite 115, Columbia, South Carolina, 29210. His phone number 803-358-0658. Email David at scwaters.org. Also, Ms. Jill Miller, Executive Director, South Carolina Rural Water Association, SCRWA, 128 Stonemark Lane, Columbia, South Carolina. And I don't have all that zip code. It's 2921. I'll have to get the rest of it. I think it's 29210. The phone number 803-667-9699. And to clarify, that zip code was 29210. The email address is Jill, Jill, at scrwa.org. And finally, and there are probably others, but these were the three that I thought would be very useful. Christy Everett, EVERETTE, CHRISTY, Christy Everett, the chair of the Water Utility Council, 166 Jackson Bluff Road, Conway, South Carolina, 29528. Telephone number 843-443-8200. Christy at gswsa.com. Mr. Chairman, that's the information, and I appreciate you and thank you for allowing me to share that.
Commissioner Caston, we appreciate your experience in the water business, and we are glad that you offered that information to our designee or appointee so that he may further his voluntary responsibility to distribute that information to those that need those funds the most. So we appreciate that. Next item.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Other members of the commission, that does complete the utilities agenda for today. Moving on to the transportation agenda. Item number 1 is the application of Willie Banks DBA It's About Time delivery for a Class E household goods certificate. And I would also state that Mr. Banks filed a modified tariff as well that the commission can consider.
Is there a motion?
Mr. Chairman,
Vice Chair Belzer.
I move that the commission approve the application of Willie Banks doing business as It's About Time delivery for a Class E household goods certificate of public convenience and necessity, and also approve the modified tariff that includes pricing for the use of 2 trucks. That's my motion.
Thank you, ma'am. Hearing Vice Chair Belzer's motion, is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll vote starting with District 1, Commissioner Williams.
I vote aye.
Vice Chair Belzer.
I vote aye.
Commissioner Caston.
Aye.
Commissioner Irvin.
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas.
Aye.
Commissioner Powers.
I vote aye.
Chairman Williams votes aye. The ayes have it. The motion carries.
Item number 2 is docket number 2021-264T. We have an application of Bernias LLC, DBA All My Sons Moving and Storage for a Class E household goods certificate.
Is there a motion?
Mr. Chairman,
Vice Chair Belzer.
I move the commission approve the application of Borneus LLC doing business as All My Sons Moving and Storage for a Class E household goods certificate of public convenience and necessity.
Hearing Vice Chair Belzer's motion, is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll vote, starting with District 1, Commissioner Williams.
Aye.
Vice Chair Belzer.
I vote aye.
Commissioner Caston.
Aye.
Commissioner Urban.
Aye.
Commissioner Powers.
Aye.
Chairman Williams votes aye. Commissioner Thomas.
Aye.
The ayes have it. The motion carries.
Item number 3 is docket number 2021-217T. This is a request of Palmetto Car Service LLC to amend its Class C taxi certificate number 9629 to read statewide authority. It is a change of scope request.
Is there a motion?
Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Powers.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move that the commission grant the request of Palmetto Car Service LLC to amend its Class C certificate number 9629 to read statewide. I so move.
Hearing Commissioner Powers' motion, is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll vote, starting with District 1, Commissioner Williams.
Aye.
Vice Chair Belzer.
Aye.
Commissioner Caston.
Aye.
Commissioner Urban.
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas.
Aye.
Commissioner Powers.
Aye.
Chairman Williams votes aye. The ayes have it. The motion carries.
Item number 4 is in docket number 2017-374T. This is a request of Salt Marsh Ventures LLC, DBA Two Men in a Truck of Beaufort, to amend the name on its Class E household goods certificate number 9844.
Is there a motion?
Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Powers.
Thank you. I move the commission grant the request of Salt Marsh Ventures LLC doing business as Two Men in a Truck of Beaufort to amend its Class C household goods certificate number 9844 to read as NBF Beaufort LLC doing business as Two Men in a Truck Beaufort.
Hearing Commissioner Powers' motion, is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll vote, starting with District 1, Commissioner Williams.
Aye.
Vice Chair Belzer.
I vote aye.
Commissioner Caston.
Aye.
Commissioner Urban.
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas.
Aye.
Commissioner Powers.
Aye.
Chairman Williams votes aye. The ayes have it. The motion carries.
Item 5 is in docket number 2013-284T, and we have a request by Melvin Wright for an extension of time until November 15th, 2021 to comply with commission rules and regulations.
Is there a motion?
Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Thomas.
Thank you. I move that the commission grant the request of Melvin Wright for an extension of time until November the 15th, 2021 to comply with commission rules and regulations.
All right. Hearing Commissioner Thomas's motion, is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll vote, starting with District 1. Commissioner Williams.
Aye.
Vice Chair Belzer.
I vote aye.
Commissioner Caston.
Aye.
Commissioner Urban.
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas.
Aye.
Commissioner Powers.
Aye.
Chairman Williams votes aye. The ayes have it. The motion carries.
Item number 6 is in docket number 1985-318T. We have a request of Sea Island Bonded Storage Incorporated to cancel its Class E household goods certificate.
Is there a motion?
Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Thomas.
I move that the commission grant the request of Sea Island Bonded Storage Incorporated to cancel Class E household goods certificate number 2748.
Hearing Commissioner Thomas's motion, is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll vote, starting with District 1. Commissioner Williams.
Aye.
Vice Chair Belzer.
I vote aye.
Commissioner Caston.
Aye.
Commissioner Urban.
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas.
Aye.
Commissioner Powers.
I vote aye.
Chairman Williams votes aye. The ayes have it. The motion carries.
Mr. Chairman and other members of the commission, that does complete the transportation agenda and indeed all the agendas before the commission for the business meeting today. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We are adjourned.